You may have seen a video doing some rounds on the internet. It's of two security guards being chased by armed robbers and they're being shot at. It's pretty crazy. I have analyzed this video several times, like hundreds of times, and I can safely conclude that the only reason this car did not flip over was the sheer magnitude and weight of this man's balls. My God, I need to close this window. My lighting is not powerful enough, and don't ask me why I've got pink curtains. Okay, what actually happened? It turns out it was actually a convoy of two vehicles. The vehicle in front was a cargo vehicle transporting cell phones, and right behind that cargo vehicle was our Land Cruiser, which was being driven by our man with balls of steel. His name is Leo Prinsloo. Let's take a look at who this guy actually is. So he is actually a former police officer for the South African Police Service, and he was actually the head trainer for their special task force. So yeah, this guy was very well prepared for this moment. He left the police and founded a shooting range called Edge Shooting Academy, and he also works like as a side hustle. He works for this security company called Fortis Proactive Defensive Solutions. I don't know why they have such a complicated name, but this is actually how he ended up driving for the security company. Anyways, back to the story. So as the Land Cruiser was escorting this vehicle with cell phones, they got ambushed by two vehicles, at least two vehicles, each with gunmen carrying AK-47s. It was kind of crazy. They started shooting at the vehicle. You can actually see the bullets hitting the bulletproof glass. If it wasn't for the bulletproof glass, I hate that word. If it wasn't for the bulletproof glass, I don't know how to say bulletproof. Bulletproof. Fuck this shit. You know what? The glass that you can't shoot through. So what these robbers were trying to do was to actually take out the Land Cruiser, which was escorting the cell phones. Once you take out the Land Cruiser, then the cell phone truck becomes a super easy target. So as soon as the shooting started, our hero was like, "Hey boy, pull out the gun." I was expecting a pistol, but my man pulls out a whole assault rifle. And then at some point, he was like, "Hey, call Josh and Robbie," which was actually quite funny because I mean, the man was a police officer, so he would know firsthand how useless the police is when it comes to situations like this. So it was kind of crazy. I wish there was dash cam footage showing what was going on. But at some point, you can actually notice that they started driving the wrong way. I'm guessing it was probably to chase down the vehicle they were escorting or something. I don't know, maybe we'll get more details when there's a police report about the incident, but that will probably take months. Anyways, after some crazy ass Hollywood driving for like a good 2.5 minutes, they eventually got rammed, and I think they were stuck at some point. Either the car was behind them or they got stuck in a ditch or something. But he tried reversing, he couldn't, and he was like, "You know what? Fuck it, bring me the gun." Got out of the vehicle and then just started waiting for the robbers. In a surprising turn of events, common sense was actually common on this day, and the robbers decided, you know what? Yeah, we can't find Rambo, the security guard over here. Let's go look for someone else. So that's kind of how it ended. Nobody was injured as far as we know, which is good to hear because you can imagine these guys were spraying bullets all over the highway. You know, it could have hit another car which did not have bulletproof glasses and stuff, so that's good to hear. And no arrests have been made as far as we know, but knowing South African police, they will probably never catch these guys. I've seen some interesting criticisms online. First, towards the passenger, they're like, yeah, you know, he was just sitting there doing nothing, letting the driver do everything. My question is, what do you actually expect him to do? Tell me. He asked the guy to prepare the gun, he did. Call Josh and Robbie, he did, and he was just waiting there for action. So I honestly, I don't think he could have done anything else. You know, do you expect him to roll down the window and only to get shot at? You know, there was a very interesting moment in the video, the way he tried to pass the gun to somebody who's driving. Hey, my brother, what were you thinking there? Another criticism I've noticed, mainly from people who've clearly never been to South Africa, is that they felt like it's overkill to have two armed vehicles escorting cell phones. Wow, my dear. Welcome to South Africa. Armed robberies of transit vehicles in South Africa is very common. Armed robberies of cell phones from pedestrians is very common, so this is not at all overkill. And if you think about it, The fact that these guys were ambushed by 2 vehicles with armed robbers, that alone should be enough to tell you that this is not overkill. People die over dumb shit in South Africa. You can literally get stabbed for your cell phone when you're jogging in broad daylight with hundreds of people watching, and like that's the kind of environment you're dealing with. So this is not at all overkill, especially the area where this happened. Armed robberies of armored vehicles in South Africa is quite common. It happens all the time. Like, people are used to seeing this kind of shit. So, you know, I'm happy these guys survived. I'm happy nobody got injured. I don't know how this guy walks around with such heavy balls, because that was some crazy ass driving, you know. He was focused on the job, which is pretty cool. I'd love a gut like that. Anyways, that's my reaction to this video. I really enjoyed watching it. Yeah. Check out the videos on the screen right now. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, have a good day.